That's the vision I have of the scooter, and that's the reality.
You can see that this scooter suffered a lot in 70 years. All the bends, the rust and all the damages on the body shows that the previous owner didn't respect it. And I want to make my own body kit on this scooter. So the first step will be to restore the body. You might understand it, I'm going to start with the front of the scooter. So the first step will be take out all the bands you see right here. But for this, I will need to cut out the inside right here. Because anyways, I don't need the inside. I will not need the front hood anymore. Because right here will be a big air intake. It's going to go right here, up here, down here, and going to come out right here to go in the engine. So you see, I don't need anymore this inside the front body. So I'm going to cut this out so it's easier for me to take out the bands right here. First, I'm removing all the parts we are not working on to protect them. Even the front fork needed to be removed. With all the parts we are not working on removed, I'm starting to cut out the front trunk. Because anyways there will be a big air intake going through this trunk. So I don't need it anymore. And it's also less work to restore this part. Because you saw it, it's pretty rusted and destroyed by its age and the previous owner. The next step will be to fix the band that the previous owner did to this bike. But I'm warning you, I never fixed any band, so it's going to be my first time. This side of the body part is fixed. I can see right here, it's not bent anymore and yeah, it's way more cleaner than before. So the next part we are going to move on is the band right here. How you can see, there is this little band right here that we are going to fix. Because how you can see on the other side, there is no band and there is the big band. And yeah, you can also see that I didn't finish pretty clean this side. But you will understand later in the project why I didn't fix this part. Yeah, how you can see, it was pretty easy to fix and that's great for me. There is no more band right here also. So now let's move on to another part. See, this part is actually pretty bent. I don't know if you can see it right here, but look, it's actually crazy the difference between the two sides. Someone tried to open the trunk without like the key or knowing how you need to open it. He like destroyed the trunk. So we'll need to fix that band. That seems pretty fixed compared to before. Yeah, it's actually clean compared to before. That was like also another easy fix. That's great. Let's see how it's looking on the front body. So I didn't saw it on the first place, but there's also this band. Let's finally see how it's looking on the front body part. Alright, how you can see it's looking pretty clean. Right here, wait. Yeah, it's looking pretty clean now. Oh, what's that? Alright, next part to fix. So I just noticed it's not possible to fix that band right here. There is this part right here and I can't like fit the hammer back there. And even with a screwdriver I can't bend the part right here. So that part will need to be fixed on another way. But that's something for later on. Now let's move on to the part that's hide behind the front trunk. Let's fix this part right here. I can see it's pretty destroyed from the rust. I can't keep that part like this. What I'm actually going to do is, you see, it's like destroyed on the parts right here. And I already cut out the part that was right here. So what I'm going to do is pretty easy. We actually don't really need this part. We just need the hose right here to install later on another part. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to make a new part right here. Because that we need that part to like install the front body on the frame. So I'm going to make a new part out of this one. And right here I'm going to try to cut the more out I can. So the actual rusted part that we don't want goes away. So yeah, I'm going to try to make some anti-roll bars. But now let's fix the part right here. So I'm cutting off the old part to use it as a blueprint to make the new part. Because without a blueprint, it's harder to make the old part look similar to the new one. After cutting off the old part, I need to make the right measures to make the new part. With all the measures I just took, I can now try to make the new part look similar to the old one. The last step before welding is to clean the surface, so that the welds hold correctly the two parts together. Oh yeah, I completely forgot about the nuts to hold the front body on the frame. Like I said it before, I'm going to use the old part as a blueprint to get the right position of the nuts. With all this done, I can now weld the nuts on the new part and then weld the new part on the front body.
So that's my first welding. Looks pretty bad, but I mean, it's the first one.
Yeah, it's my first weld. Don't see it as bad. It's holding the part on its place, so it's doing his job. But I promise you the next welds will be way cleaner. Now, it's time to cut off all the rusted parts we don't want anymore. So, with that done, it's time to make the anti-roll bars. Same process as the front body supports, but I don't have any blueprint. I need to make everything myself. So I found how I want the anti-roll bars to look, so it's time to make the second one for the other side. So after the second part finished, I'm cleaning the surface to weld on the new parts. So I just made some little points, I can see, just to hold the part on its position, because I want to align on the other side the other part, and it's looking the same on both sides. That will be nice. So yeah, I'm not welding it to its final point right now. I'm first going to point also this part on this side. So I'm going to prepare this part without filming and then film again when I'm welding both parts. So that's all the final parts. So you can see, yeah, I weld them. So it's not looking pretty clean because, yeah, I just started welding. I will try to grind away a bit of the welding so it's looking cleaner. But now is the next problem. I just saw that I can see it's touching the trunk, so we will need to cut off a bit of the trunk. So yeah, but that's something for later on. I decided to keep the weldings like this. Yeah, because I mean it's alright and I don't want to damage them by grinding them away. Now we are going to move on to this part. I can see it's pretty damaged from the rust. So let's try to make a new part right here. So it's the same process again for this part. I need to take the right measurements, cutting off the right shape and then weld it on. But this part is a bit different on one point. I need to make the right shape. It needs to match the rest of the body. And that's the most important step of this new part. So I need to be pretty careful to make the parts match together. been now like 3 hours that I'm making the part, and I think I finally finished. I think I did it. Alright, and now it's time to cut the part out right here to change it with a new one that I just made. So how you can see, I just finished the weldings, and yeah, it's looking pretty clean. Like, I really did a good welding on this part. Now I just need to grind away the welds, and then we will not see the difference between the two parts. I just spent 3 hours making this part, so you should like and subscribe, because more videos like this are coming soon. I can see it's pretty clean. Like, for a person who never did this before, it's like, yeah, really clean. Really, like, it's actually crazy how good I did this. Alright, there is a little mistake right here, I can see. Yeah, I'm missing a bit of... Alright, so let's try to make it look better, because you can see it's not so clean. Like, yeah, you see it's not like a straight line right here. Still need to cut right here the right size. But let's do this and let's see if it's looking pretty clean. Oh yeah, and also let's drill a hole inside here, and yeah. First step is to cut off the edges I kept in case I needed to make any readjustment. It's looking pretty clean now. Now I'm fixing the shape of the part. I need to make it match with the rest of the body. And finally, the last step will be to cut off and grind away some other edges I kept. So with this side finished, I mean, yeah, it's finished now. Let's move on to the other side. because how you can see, it's not as bad as the other side. Like, I don't need to make a new part right here, but I will need to fix the rust holes right here. So I think I'm going to keep all this side, but here I'm going to weld a little metal part on this side. Let's make this. Like I did it on the first part I restored, I'm cutting off the old part as a blueprint for the new part. After this, I'm adjusting the part to match the right shape of the body. Now let's prepare all the surface so I can weld on. So, with the surface clean, I can now finally start welding on the new part. And I hope it will match the body like the other side. So I managed to weld a new part on. So yeah, it's not as clean as the other side, but yeah, it seems to hold, and yeah, let's see when we grind away the weldings. And with the heat, I also bent the part right here, I can see. So this will need to be fixed, and yeah, I hope I won't break something by fixing this. So I managed to fix the part. I can see it's looking way more cleaner than before. Now the next step will be to fix all the rust holes. I can see right here also. There are a lot of rust holes here also, and yeah. The next step will be to fix the rust holes. So yeah, let's fix the holes. But before fixing the rust holes, let's fix the problem with the hood. Because of this little part right here, it's not fitting on the front body. So I'm going to cut off a little piece of this part right here, so it can fit properly on the front body. So, I fixed the part right here. It goes on and no more problems. Yeah, here it's fitting perfectly. Here also. It's fitting perfectly on its place. So yeah, that's one thing fixed. Alright, so now is the time to fix all the rust holes right here. So the front body is now finished. So now it's time to install it on the frame. Oh yeah, I forgot about the frame. I still need to drill the holes for the nuts. So let's do that real quick. So now I can finally install the front body. I needed to cut off the old screws to be able to disassemble the entire scooter back then. So I got myself some new screws, but now I need to cut them to the right size. The nut on this side is a bit damaged due to the rust, so I needed to re-thread the nut. So now that the front body is installed, let's move on to the next part. On this part I need to fix the band inside the glove box and also fix the rust damages. I'm first starting with the band inside the glove box. It's not a big deal, but I still need to do it because yeah, it's changing the entire look of this glove box. With the bands fixed, let's move on to the cover of this glove box. It's the same process as the rest of the parts we fixed. I'm first cutting off the old part so I can shape the new part more easily on its place. Now I'm cutting off a metal piece as straight as possible to make the new part. And now it's finally time to shape this metal piece into the part we need. And finally the last part before welding, cleaning the surface. The weldings looks pretty clean. I'm satisfied with the result. Let's grind away the welds real quick and then block the last holes from the rust. So now the cover is finished, and yeah, it looks pretty clean compared to before. So the last part of this episode will be the dashboard. How you can see, it's pretty rusted, so let's sandblast it. Looks pretty clean. Let's make the finishes and remove the last rust on this part. Great, looks brand new. So let's apply some rust protection so it didn't rust until we paint the scooter.
Alright, so now let's install all the parts we just fixed. How you can see, the front body part is now finally finished.
So, thanks for watching and see you in the next episode.